It's very possible that I'm subconsciously doing that, but because I mean I've never like went out of my way to make friends with people, so it's very possible that that's why I'm doing it. But I don't know. I've never thought about it. Just you guys. I grew up in a family of 7. I always lived with my grandparents and my parents and my 2 older sisters. So growing up until I think I was 15, I shared a room with both my sisters. And so that was always hard because, like, I don't know, growing up in a very rich area of Vegas, it was hard being the poor kid that nobody knew was poor. And so everyone always wanted to come over to my house and they wanted to see what it was like, how I lived and this and that. And I don't know, it was very weird just trying to close everyone out from what my private life was like.
Childhood, like?
Bad. I don't know. I didn't get along with my dad or my sisters until like, my sisters I didn't get along with them probably until like 2020 when quarantine started. And then my dad I didn't get along with until I think when my grandma got diagnosed, which was like 2 years ago now, because she just really wanted us to get along. And then, so that, like, growing up, I felt very isolated. I was very independent as a child. I didn't really like to talk with my family or, I don't know, be open with them about anything, so.
And, like, how has, like, things changed since all of that? Like, has anything changed with your family? Is it all still constant?
It's definitely a lot better, I would say. I wouldn't say it's, like, perfect or anything, but I don't know, I can have conversations with my dad without getting into a full-blown argument, and I hang out with my sisters. I really like my sisters now. I don't like dread being home like I did in middle school, so I guess it's better. I was passionate about dance for a long time in gymnastics. I did it for 10 years before I quit. The dance studio that I went to, it was already like the cheapest one in Vegas, like in all of Vegas, and then it just kind of got to a point where I wasn't getting better and I couldn't afford any teachers to teach me how to get better, so my only choice was to quit. It definitely made me sad that, like, I don't know, I have to go up and compete against all these girls that are able to train 70 hours a week because that's the kind of money they have and the training that they can have when I couldn't. But I don't know, it was never my fault.
I mean, if you had the chance to go back to like that, did you love it?
I loved it. I loved competing. I loved being on stage. I loved showing off what I could do.
So if you could like go back, you know, if you had like the money and like the right teachers and shit, like,
oh, 100%. I guess the most pivotal, I don't know if it's really like a story that changed my life, but like the pivotal moment where I noticed like my life is going to be different from here on out was, I think it was November of my sophomore year, and my grandpa was using the bathroom, and all of a sudden we just hear this like big bang, and he had fallen and hurt himself, and so we took him to the hospital, and we had known that like his memory was kind of going, like we could tell little things here and there. But like finally just getting the like dementia diagnosis from him was kind of like a huge thing on everyone. And it's kind of what pushed my sister to move out because she wasn't working, she wasn't going to school. I had school, I had student council, so like I would try and help take care of him as much as I can, but I wasn't there as much as she was. And so he eventually turned into like a big baby, essentially, which was really hard to not only watch happen, but to take care of him, because he had no idea he was wrong when he would ask questions like, oh, there's somebody upstairs, or there's somebody trying to break into the house right now, like we need to do something, or like I'm not home, I have no idea where I am. And like it was just very hard to like keep patient with him sometimes, and so it caused a lot of tension in the family. And so I think before he died, it kind of like, I don't know, it brought a lot of tension in the family. But I don't know, it just changed my life. It changed everyone's life in my family, I think, because everyone kind of had to do this whole new thing, learn how to live with him, learn how to take care of him, what he needed, how to get him through the hard nights in the early mornings. So
yeah,
Yeah, I would say so. It definitely affected me for a long time, but I don't know, I wouldn't say I was relieved when he died, but it was kind of like, I know he's not suffering anymore, and I know that, like, because my grandma also got diagnosed with cancer around that time, and so she was 100% putting herself on the back burner, trying to take care of him, trying to get him to all of his appointments, doing this and that, and so I don't know. It was definitely good for her health when everything happened, but the thing that I immediately think of when, like, the first time where I was like, wow, that really fucking sucks that it happened, was we were in quarantine and I was in this huge fucking argument with my dad. Am I allowed to cuss? I was in this huge argument with my dad, and he said to me, he said, I love you because you're my daughter, but I do not like you as a person. And I think that was the first time that I was kind of like, fuck, like that hurt, especially hearing it like from your own dad. Because like anyone could be like, oh, I don't like you as a person, and I'd be like, okay, like that's not really my problem, I don't have to interact with you. But like someone that is so prominently in my life, I see him every day, and I would go days without talking to him, it just kind of like hurt. And looking back on it, I don't know, I'm sure the argument was over something really stupid, and I don't know why he chose to say it in that argument, because I don't even remember, but I don't know, I guess that was my first heartbreak.
Forgive him for that?
I guess to an extent. I don't know, forgive but never forget is a huge thing for me, but it got to a point where it was like he was just doing shit like this so often that I didn't see a need to forgive him anymore. Until like everything happened with my grandma and she asked me to start getting along with him, and then I kind of like, I mean, we've never really acknowledged shit. We've acknowledged that we have a better relationship now, but we've never acknowledged like why we had such a bad relationship or any of the things that we said when we had a horrible relationship.
Being in a relationship with somebody actually like helped you, like you actually like felt love?
I think so, yeah. I think having a boyfriend and someone that shows me what it's like to be loved is kind of like, in a way, my only escape. Because yeah, I have all these friends, but like, just that is a whole nother thing in itself. They're like kind of weird sometimes. They go off and do their own thing. They don't text me. Like, I feel like everyone in my friend group has their best friend, and I don't have someone like that in the friend group. So I really feel like having a boyfriend and somebody that loves me is like my true escape to everything that is going on in my life. And it's like, when I'm with him, I just like, I can breathe. Like there's a weight off my chest. I feel fine. It used to not be hard to trust him, but then like things happen. Things happen when you do long distance. I don't know. Not that I fucked up in any way, but things do happen when you're in long distance, and that definitely makes it harder to trust them going into it or going into it the next year. But I don't know, only 2 years left, I guess.
What's your like end game goal though? Like, what do you want to do?
I wish I knew, to be so honest. I didn't even want to come to college. I wanted to go to trade school for welding. College just seemed like the smarter option. Thing that you're supposed to do. No, not a clue.
Is that like a hard thing, or do you feel like it's kind of like normal? It's like you don't have any worries about it.
I think it's definitely getting more normalized to go into college not knowing what you want to do, but I also think, to me, like, it is worrying. Like, what if I get to a point where I have to pick my degree or my major, and I just pick something random because I don't fucking know what I'm doing, and then I finished college, and then it was all for nothing. I don't use my degree. I didn't need to spend all that money. Well, I mean, I'm not spending money, but I didn't need to waste all my time doing that. I could have been working. I could have been doing something that I am going to do for the rest of my life. But fingers crossed. No dreams at all. I didn't think I was going to fucking make it past 16. Here I am. And now I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And I never thought about it as a kid, truly.
It's like, do you find comfort in that?
It's definitely, yes and no. I find comfort in the fact that I'm heading in the right direction at least. It's not like I'm just sitting around doing nothing, waiting for something to fall into my lap. Because I know, I don't know, things don't just get handed to me. I've never had a thing handed to me in my life. I've always worked for everything that I've had. So I know that at least it's very comforting in the sense that I'm going in the right direction, but it's also very, like, it makes me very anxious that I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know where I'm heading with it. I just know that I'm doing it because I'm supposed to.
Has there been anything that's like big on your mind recently though?
I guess just worrying about what my life is gonna look like in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years. All my friends went off to college. They're all starting their whole new lives. I've definitely, as I've told you, I've had a harder time adjusting to UNLV, making friends at UNLV. And I don't know what my life is gonna look like in 6 months. Am I still gonna wanna go to school in 6 months? Am I still gonna be friends with all these people I've been friends with since I was 6 in the next year? Or no, because they're going off to college and making new friends. It's definitely worrying, especially because I don't see them anymore, or I don't talk to them anymore. Like, even over the weekend, my 2 friends from Utah came home, and one of them completely blew me off when she told me that since before she left for college that we were going to go to this game together. And then day of the game, I found out that I was uninvited because she invited her new friends from Utah Tech. So it's just like stuff like that that is very like, kind of eats away at me from time to time, I would say.
It's really hard for you to make friends here.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I've had the same friends since I was in elementary school. I don't really know how to make new friends, so.
Especially because you don't want to like become friends with new people just for it to end up like you trust me.
It's very possible that I'm subconsciously doing that, but because I mean I've never like went out of my way to make friends with people, so it's very possible that that's why I'm doing it. But I don't know, I've never thought about it. Just you guys. Oh yeah, 100%. Because I don't know, it feels like you're supposed to be with someone. It's like if I didn't have my boyfriend, and I, like, for example, yeah, I'm doing this, but the only other people that I've ever talked about this kind of stuff with is my boyfriend. Like, can you imagine if I had held it all in and since I started going through this shit at like age 11? Like, I think I would be an entirely different person. I think it's important that I have someone to get that out to.
So do you usually hold things in? And does it affect you?
Oh yeah, 100%.
How bad is it?
It's been very bad. I will say it hasn't been like actually like fucking awful since I was probably like 16, 15. But I will say that I know holding stuff in makes me like a more angry person, or like, I don't know, everyone said I was the biggest bitch at my high school because I don't know, I didn't like letting new people in, I didn't like making new friends, like I had my group and that was that. And like, so any new friends we made, I would be, not necessarily on purpose, I had no interest being their friend, but people would be like, oh my god, you were such a bitch when I first met you. Or like, oh my god, you were so mean. Like, what happened? And I was like, I don't know, I got to know you. You're my friend now. So I think it definitely does affect me in that sense, where it's like, oh, I'm holding all this in, I don't want to tell anyone this, I don't want to let anyone in. And so it definitely affects how I make friends and stuff like that, and how I treat other people in a way. I really think it was just everything with my dad. We argued a lot, we got into a lot of physical fights as a kid. Like, we would like full on be going at it with each other. And I think that just in turn made me very depressed. I got diagnosed when I was like, I think 16, 17 maybe. And so I think it's just chemically imbalanced. Just made me sad, depressed, angry at everything, everyone.
So it also like kind of affected your social life?
Oh, 100%.
Do you like people? Well, obviously not.
I'm not a big people person, no. But I like the earth in itself. I think the earth is gorgeous. I think what people are doing to the earth is disgusting. I've always really liked the earth and nature and looking at it. You know, when you asked me if I have any dreams earlier, I want to travel the world. I want to go to everywhere. I want to see everything. I want to see how other people live. I want to see why they live like that, what their culture is, stuff like that.
Any message for me?
I know, like, this sounds so corny and it's so stupid and everyone says it, but like, truly just don't give up. It genuinely does eventually get better. It may take forever and it may feel like it's never coming, but it does get better, and it's not gonna get better all on its own. You do have to try in some way. You can't just put no effort into it and expect everything to fall into place, because that's not how the world works. You do have to put work in. Not everything is handed to you. So, I don't know, just keep trying, keep going. As corny as it sounds, it truly is real, unfortunately.